Good evening, Brother Brij Mohan.
Good evening.
So we have several kinds of questions here. I'm going to start right out because we have a lot of questions, including whatever comes in through the Q&A. And just to let everyone know, we'll do the best we can. We have more questions than we have time for, so whatever we don't get to, we'll save for September. But I'd like to start with questions around personal dharana. And the first one, Brother Brij Mohan, is how can I increase the level of my efforts? I feel I want to take a leap forward, but I am stuck and I don't have the strength to do it. I am unable to take strength from Baba. So how can the soul take strength from Baba?
Well, this is the real, sorry, हिंदी में बोलना है ना? अच्छा, ये एक विचित्र तरह की विडंबना है.
Brij Mohan, speak in English this time.
English, okay, fine.
English, yeah.
There is a real paradox that when you need Baba, you are not able to connect with Baba. In such situations, what comes in the way has to be removed. So, everyone wants to have strongest, loveliest connection with Baba, because from Baba we get all the powers and all the virtues to remove all obstacles. But exactly when we are going to do it, we don't get connected. So therefore, there are several reasons, several things which we can do to make our line clear and so to say, as is said, clear, clean mind and clear intellect. So we have to clean it. What comes in the way is normally is our thoughts of the past. Of this life, we start thinking of our weaknesses and thoughts of the past and the failures and disappointments. Then we know there is a huge volume of waste thoughts which are not required, but they creep in because of mind becoming weak and wandering. Then you know, somewhere or the other, with someone or the other, we have negative thoughts. So these negative thoughts are very destructive. Instead of going up and forward, it pulls us down. And you know, then there are present situations. Sometimes the body is sick, sometimes there is some other thing on our head. And finally, we have to see what company we are keeping. Because instead of keeping Baba's company, we are having company of others all through the day. And then at the time of connecting with Baba, we suddenly think that we can connect with Baba strongly, and with Baba alone, that is not possible. So all these things we have to, in the evening or before going to bed, check what were the obstacles which came in the way of my travel or my journey to Baba, and those have to be removed. I have to keep attention on that, and it will improve.
So this is what spiritual effort is, no?
Yes.
So a follow-up question from someone else. How do we feel close to Baba's heart?
Well, Baba has said we have to be truthful. So this truthfulness has to be taken in the right spirit. Sometimes we are having wishes of being truthful, but we are not actually able to keep up to that. So therefore, we should have a true heart and be ourselves before Baba without any type of scheming of the mind which Maya introduces. You know, when you are in need of Baba, we say, yes, Baba, I will do this, I will do that. But only when the need is over, that connection and affection and love is also over. Number one. Secondly, Baba watches the progress of every child. If we are making progress, then we will be close to Baba naturally, because as a teacher, as a parent, every parent and teacher wishes that the student or the child should come up. So as we progress, then also we will feel close to Baba. And finally, Bab Saman, which means Baba is in angelic state now. So we have to be in angelic stage to be close to Baba. If I remain in the bodily stage and want to be close to angelic being, then also there is distance.
Okay. Another question that just came in. Do you have the situation, Brother Brij Mohan, have you ever had the situation where some past hurt kept coming back in your mind and triggering you? What do you do about that? How do you remove that past hurt?
Yes, in my long journey, I had several such situations, and even now Baba says, that a time is going to come when even if you sincerely and most sincerely want to connect with Baba, but the situations will be such that you will not be able to do so. So Baba says, do the practice now. So similarly, have been many serious situations, and we try to connect with Baba in the subtle region, but those situations pull us. So it has happened many times in situations of bodily ailment, in situations of certain things which cause worry. But I felt that those are like dark clouds over the sun, and they are not going to be permanent. I always kept it in my mind. Still, even today, I cannot say I have put a full stop to all the old situations, because sometimes people ask me to narrate my experience or something. So I have to go back in my memories and do that. Then I feel it is history, all it is past. And it is said that the only lesson we learn from history is that we learn no lesson from history. That is like that. We enjoy sharing and all that, but actually that doesn't bring any practical improvement.
Okay, so what I'm hearing from you is that we can't actually remove the memory. There's no
Yes.
way to cut the memory out of the chit and remove it, but we have to see it as a black cloud that has moved between me and Baba, and work to move the cloud on and not dwell on it. Is that the essence of what you're saying?
Only thing to add is that we can erase or burn certain memories by intense yoga or remembrance. So that is what Baba wants us, that all memories which interfere, memories, there are many types of memories, common memories automatically fade away, but very important and serious memories of both types, they will be sticking in our mind. And whenever we want to very seriously disconnect, those memories will interfere. So best way is to burn, to incinerate those memories by intense yoga. And that is also possible if we intentionally do it.
Okay, so we can
Yes.
do that. We just have to have intense yoga. All
Yes.
right. Now I have another one here, a little bit longer. How to stay happy and loveful in a household when the Lakik family members are not supporting and against the BK organization and principles. Since the time I came in Gyan in 2019, my husband always creates peacelessness every day due to purity and the Maryadas. Brahmin life is becoming a life of struggle and depression, and such times block my love for Baba, self, and others. Please advise.
Well, this is a real situation, and it has been the most difficult test of certain souls. Basic thing is life of purity. And right from the start of Baba's Yajna, now of course it is less, but people thought, the worldly people, that it is not only impossible but wrong to observe purity the way Baba tells us. So therefore they have a firm conviction in their mind that this is a wrong way, this is not the way society goes about. So therefore this has been the test of the sisters. And Baba says, but those children who have really realized Baba and had good experiences of powerful love and connection, they become stronger. The more the obstacles come in their way, they become stronger. That look, these people, my husband and my other, they were my loved ones, and I thought they are all taking care of my interest. But here, when a test has come, I find them opposing me strongly. So we have to be in those situations, but you can make your own personality so powerful spiritually that the sort of attractiveness or the desire to get this such impure things from you is lost. You know, just as you know, when you see a monk, say you see a female monk, or you see in the India, you see statues of the female deities. Nobody gets any bad intention or wrongful sexual intention feeling from them. They feel that they are beyond our out of bounds for us because they get no attraction. But when they see a poster of a normal worldly lady, they get attracted. So I have to make my personality so powerful and so strong and so pure that anyone no one will get such like attraction from me. That is one way I have to work inside. But Baba says the strongest yoga and the most intense yoga is of those who get such obstacles. And that yoga brings them so close to me and they get so much power from me that anything may happen, but I will keep to that level of purity. You know, earlier time, sisters were beaten, badly beaten. They were put behind the doors and all those things, but they came out powerful and warriors.
Okay. So what's important in this is that I have to be persistent, right? It sounds like the person who sent this is losing their hope. And you're saying that actually to remain committed to their practice and transform themselves so that others see them as that spiritual being. Yeah.
Purity should be dearer to me even than my life. So that particular type of approach will make it very easy if you practice it.
Okay. I want to move to a topic around mental states. We've gotten these before. You know, there's a lot of questions about mental conditions. So I've got several of these. So one of them, it happens to me that sometimes I get depressed because of a big blockage in my mind. This makes me not get up at Amrit Vela because I become inactive. What should I do?
Mayara já liberou ela, o Juca? Hein?
Okay, sorry for that.
Well, actually, it is like knowing that I will get my cure from the Supreme Surgeon, but I am not able, or I don't feel like I don't have enough enthusiasm to go to that Supreme Doctor. So it is, if even if we are unwilling, the mind is disturbed, or we feel that it will be just waste of time to sit in Amrit Vela. Baba has said, no, this is the trick of Maya, to wane away ourselves from the supreme power. So therefore, Baba says, even willingly, unwillingly, you start sitting in Amrit Vela, just as some royal person invites a beggar, to the palace, and the beggar says, I have no capacity, I don't feel like, I am okay in my hut and all that. But if that person really goes, then the royal person will take care of everything. So when we know that you go with blank mind and just start sitting, Baba will fill us. So if we have that importance of Amrit Vela, because that is the particular time Baba has kept for all the Brahmins to be there, and then Baba will take care of, like, going to a service station of a car or to an overhauling station. Rest of the thing Baba will do. If for 3 days you try that, you will feel like that you will never miss Amrit Vela.
And is this true even if I'm there and I'm sleepy and I'm disheartened, I'm not feeling inspired, I can't feel Baba's presence, I'm just looking at the wall, do I still stay there in Amrit Vela?
Well, sister, it is my personal experience. I used to be very lazy in Amrit Vela. I used to make certain reasons with myself why I should not be sitting in Amrit Vela and even meditating or remembering Baba while lying and so on. But then I found that this is a specific additional help by Baba. Just come to me and I will give you all the powers and all the awakening not to miss Amrit Vela. To start with, I started thinking that suppose there is a big cobra under my bed, and will I sleep? So I felt that this feeling of laziness and carelessness is only superfluous and shallow. And even if a cobra, what to say, cobra, even a fly can disturb you at Amrit Vela, you will not be able to sleep. So that way, and the other way is that if you are going to get millions and millions, and the lift is also down, and you have to get those millions on 12th floor, you will walk up the stairs and not wait for the lift to be repaired. So by such like reasoning with myself, I started, and now I feel if I don't go to Amrit Vela, I miss a lot. So it can be changed by practice. They say practice makes a person perfect.
Okay. All right. So even if I'm not feeling inspired, I go anyway and I stay there, right? Okay. All right. Here's another one on the mental states. I am having emotional and mental turmoil because of family relationships that date back to early childhood, and now I'm 61. I often focus on the influence of others, though I know that I am at least partly responsible for my present condition. Sometimes I feel as if the solution is out of reach. What to do?
What is the sense of this question?
So the essence of this question is that even though this person is in their 60s, their mind is rethinking childhood relationships, family relationships from when they were very, very small, and that their mind focuses on what others are doing to them. And so even though he or she knows they're partly responsible, they don't seem to be able to make the mind leave those things alone. Is this just a question of mastery, just practice and mastering the mind and where it goes? Let me add a paragraph here because this may be connected with the same question. I have found that BK practice has been helpful to me like no other kind of treatment. My question is, do I focus on what I am able to do and try to let go of karma received from others? At times, I am at a bit of a loss or overwhelmed. So any advice from a BK perspective is greatly appreciated. So it seems to be about where do I focus? I think that's the essence of the question. Where do I focus?
Yes. You know, when there is some fire, the fire brigade goes through the city, the fire engine. They are playing some sort of blowing horn, etc., that we are on an urgent mission and all traffic is stopped. Similarly, supposing the president of the country has to move by road, then all traffic is stopped. Even if oneself has some essential job to do somewhere, very urgent, then one doesn't bother and care for what is going on around. So this focus is very important, and Baba says so much that focus and focus on me alone, because I can be in all relationships with you. I am almighty, so I can give you the right direction. So focus is very important. Even in shooting, focus is important. So we have to hit the bullseye, so to say. And Brahma is also compared with a bull. Anyhow, basic thing is our symbol is lotus, not to be influenced by anything outside, whether it is from the nature or from my nature or from relatives or others, and the least things of the past. Because what has happened, it cannot turn away, come around. Whether it was right or wrong, my responsibility or others' contribution doesn't matter. So Baba always say, use the full stop. Put a full stop to the past, not a dash, nor a comma, but not a question mark. So the capacity to put full stop to the past, even to the yesterday's things, will help. And we must have focus, because out of focus, you want to reach Venus and you will reach Saturn if you are out of focus.
Okay, but I would just say the things you're recommending do require some spiritual strength, right? The full stop, when your mind is racing and you feel people have been unkind to you, to put a full stop does require some mastery or some strength. Yeah.
The soul already has the strength. It only gets diverted. We must know that spiritual strength has not to come from anywhere. The soul by itself is powerful enough. But when it has got bondages, it has got strings, it has got leanings, and like that, then it gets diverted. So that strength has to be removed from everywhere and focused on my Baba.
Is this what Baba means by Maya being powerful?
Maya is only weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
The other word for Maya is not some entity or some existence or something. It is our weaknesses. So if we remember that our weaknesses come in our way, and we are basically powerful, but sometimes by our thoughts of the past, our thoughts of the other, just as in the schools, they have a lens, in the school they give an experiment, a lens and a paper, and the children are asked to focus sun's rays on the lens, and the paper start burning. It is the same type of situation.
Okay. All right. I have one more question for you in this category of spiritual solutions for mental states. And this is interesting. Someone close to me is struggling psychologically and seems to be at risk for making decisions that could harm herself. I took the advice of some BKs and consulted a BK who is a psychologist, but the answers he gave me didn't feel spiritual to me and actually frightened me. Aren't psychological conditions actually spiritual conditions? And shouldn't the explanations and solutions be offered in spiritual terms? For example, in terms of sanskaras, karmic accounts, etc.
Already is given in the question. If you go to any specialist, because of that specialization, that person will give solutions as per the specialization. If you have even a mental problem or anything, you go to a doctor, he has his own specialization. He will say, please have sleeping pills. When things become acute, you will get relief, and so on, or play music and so on. Therefore, basic thing is, I am a soul. All my ailments and all my problems are spiritual. They are in the soul. And the solutions have also to be spiritual. Psychology is a branch, a small branch of spirituality. Just as psychiatry is, or some people say, have sports, play music and all those things. Eat your nicest, tastiest food to keep away from your other thoughts, so many things. But these are all worldly and tried methods. They mostly are adopted, given by bodily people to bodily people. They think themselves, others to be a body, and themselves also be a body. All those reliefs are also short-lived. So spiritual solutions, which means spiritual powers, like willpower, like power to judge at proper time, like power to become slow when your mind is going fast, and so many, all spiritual powers properly applied at proper occasion, they can do wonders. Sometimes I feel I am so tired, I have no energy and all that. And someone comes to me for some advice. I become very active and I start enjoying, and I forget that I am having that thought of laziness. So that is why Baba says, basic thing is, we have been absorbing, getting, and getting. Unless we give out also, that our whatever we are getting will not be put into practice, will not come in our life, it will give out. So always, there has to be an exit for all entries. So here we have been getting gyan, we have been getting yoga, so many energies inside, but we are not using them. So that is the thing, we do not have the experience of those things. So best thing is, I have anger, okay, I start telling others that how to remove their anger. So my anger will go away like that.
Okay. I want to acknowledge that we have many questions coming in. I'm going to move on from these personal dharna to another area. If we have time, I'll come back to them. If we don't have time, we'll collect them for September. So I see the questions. I just want you to know that. Okay, I want to move to an area called ethical and moral decisions. And the first one has to do with what's known as assisted suicide. It's also known as euthanasia. Now, in some, like in Canada, I believe this has suddenly become legal. In some states in the US, I think in Holland, there's several places in the world where this is legal to do. But, and so it's increasingly viewed as an option for those who have a terminal illness or are in great pain. What would Raja Yoga say about assisted suicide or euthanasia? Would it be considered as an acceptable alternative under any circumstances?
The answer is no. The answer is no. A soul has its karmic account, and that karmic account has to be settled. Sometimes it looks like it is beyond my capacity to bear the pain or suffering of whatever type. So at that point of time, a soul sometimes thinks that if I leave this body, then without body I will not be having any suffering. So some people think of suicide by themselves, and sometimes when they are in helpless situation, then it is called mercy killing or assisted suicide. Baba in many murlis has said, if there is any greatest sin on earth, that is suicide or assisted suicide. At that time, the soul is passing through a very, very delicate and difficult situation, but the solution is not suicide. It is like, a person borrowing so lot of things from around the area and then disappearing one night that, okay, I have taken all the money, now I need not return. But it is not so, because whatever accounts, unsettled accounts we carry, by suicide, the soul does not die. It is only it leaves one body. So it will have a compounded effect of suffering in the next body or even in the womb. So we should be careful. And when we are alive and we are in grief, it is the time to have connect with Baba and more powers. So all the BKs, none is advised to take this course or think of this course. This has, even it is now legalized in some countries or some states, it means it was illegal up till now. So we are trying to legalize certain illegal things as a compromise in life that should be carefully considered, and the answer is no.
I thought that's what you were going to say. All right, related question, but different. What is the spiritual perspective on donating organs after our death? Now, in the US, when you apply for a driver's license, you tell people whether they can take your organs in case you're killed in a car wreck. And people are wondering, should I check that box or not? So what's the spiritual perspective on this? What are some options?
Well, supposing we adopt strict vegetarianism, and now I am a strict vegetarian and enjoying all the benefits that you get as a vegetarian. Now, your organs have also become adapted to that. Will you like any of your organ to be used by a non-vegetarian? No, because you are on a particular, even if you have got money to donate and somebody says you donate money to a immoral center after your death, will you do that? No, you will say it should go to a saintly place, to a good place, because I have lived a life of morality. Similarly, my bodily organs. Nobody will like your bodily or I am on the path of purity. And I have been using all my bodily organs for towards that aim. My eyes, my ears, my everything, my feet going to center. And suddenly I think that I can donate this to those people who are going to the wrongs, my legs to the wrong side, my eyes to evil thinking. So it is absolutely not advised because I am, even my body is pure. And you know, in golden age, what is the beauty is that you have a pure body. Here in this world, Baba says even birth, impure birth, makes you impure for the whole of your life. Your soul may become extremely pure, still your body is not worth worshipping. So when I am making my body so worship worthy and so holy, how can I donate it for to unholy people?
I have to ask a follow-up question here. Okay, you're using the example of giving money to someone who's begging, right? And that way our karmas get complicated. So let's say that I'm in a car accident and they need a heart for someone. Now, if my heart went into that person, that meat-eating regular person, are you saying that I would have some kind of karmic account with that person, even though the soul had left the body?
It's not the question of karmic account. It is the question of my precious possessions, which I am otherwise also living. I am leaving my body. But with my own sweet will, what will I like, will I like my precious possessions to be put? So that is the question. Because many of the big, I have seen myself, I was at a railway station at some time, and a person in air-conditioned class had left the body, and they dragged his body, and they were dragging it from the platform of ordinary people. And I wished that at least this should not happen to me. When everybody wants to be like that. Same is the thing, you know, allowing your bodily organs to be misused. Supposing you have left the body, but through your subtle body you are watching what is happening to your body. So you will not like certain wrong things happening to your body. So that is the thing.
Okay, my precious possessions. All right, one more in this category. These are ethical and moral decisions. When Brahmins are making wills, how should they think about leaving property to their families and to the yajna? So, for example, their children may expect they would leave them something. They want to leave things to the yajna. How do they sort those decisions? Is there any guidance on this?
Well, it depends upon the spiritual stage of the Brahmin. But I can give you one example that Dadi Janki told me. Dadi said there was a brother in London doing a job, and he was sending money to his parents back home. So he got a promotion and he got higher salary. Now the parents came to know that now he has got more money. So they asked that brother to give more money to them every month. So he came to Dadi Janki. He said, Dadi, this is the situation, same question. What should I do? So Dadi said, decision is yours, but please see that their greed and your attachment should not grow. Simply because you have got more money to give doesn't mean that you should share with the parents. After all, they are locking. So if they need, it's okay. If it is greed, please stop. And your attachment, after all, my parents are Lokik parents. I know I have certain responsibilities for them, but it doesn't mean I get that attachment that now I have more money, so I should make my parents more comfortable or luxurious.
Okay. These are subtle things, aren't they? Some of these,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
So every time we've had questions about aging. We have one here. What level of support might our centers be expected to give to those who are aging and who have been active on the field of service, but who don't live in the center? Now, the caveat in this is that sometimes centers have very few resources. So taking into account that some of the centers have few resources, but that these ones who are aging have been really valuable right hands, what level of support should be there, or might they expect to be there?
You see, Baba had made a rule for those trusty souls. Trusty souls mean those souls who live at their own places but doing service at the centers as much as the surrendered souls. So Baba had said, keep 1/4 of your earnings for your future. Clear guidance. Because some were so enthused, they said, I will give my entire money to the yak. Baba said, no. 1/4 for your future, 1/4 for emergencies, and the rest of the half you can use what is required for yourself and you can give to the center. So every trustee BK or every other human being also cares for the future, for the old age. Normally also, if I am in Lokik life, I will not spend everything for the rainy day, I will save. So they are normally expected. Everyone who is a trustee BK, I am doing godly service, okay. I am helping the center with money, it's okay. But I must keep something my future. Not that I should expect suddenly that I spent everything, I didn't save anything, and now I need support from the center. Because the center has no money of their own. Center is a collection of money from all the students for carrying out the service. So center is not a bank in a sense for spending money. But still, all said and done, we have to consider individual cases.
So what about bringing food to them? What if they're no longer able to cook for themselves, but they would appreciate having Brahma Bhojan? Or what about a ride to a doctor because they can't drive any longer?
Well, if they have, it depends upon their past bank account, how much they have collected their spiritual fortune, how much they have helped others to make their spiritual fortune. So in very deserving cases, we have to do that, and we do it here also in Bharat, but we have to see basically the account, a karmic account of every soul and decide accordingly. There cannot be any hard and fast rule because normally I am supposed to fend for myself. Even if I am careless about my certain habits and I often fall sick and I have to spend time and money on my medical care, I am responsible because I am supposed to keep fit. Like in the army, soldiers have to keep fit. It's a spiritual army. So we have to keep more fit from other things. Nothing should be wasted, in a sense, required to be consumed as far as possible. That is why Baba uses a word called economy. When Baba says other things, Baba says economy, not only economy of words, economy of thoughts, but also economy of the financial side.
Okay. All right, I want to ask, I've got two questions here about vision, and I want to ask them both together. They're from different sources. So the first one, recently, my spouse and I had a disagreement about something, and I felt he was responding to me as he might have 30 years before when I wasn't even in Gyan. What do we need to do when we feel someone is not seeing us with the elevated vision of who we have become, but as looking at a past version of who we are? That's the first question. Second question, also about vision. I have known a certain family who has been in Guyana for many decades. I have repeatedly been disappointed by things they have said and done. One member of that family is now in a center where I run into her often. I feel that the entire family lives in the same way as I knew them many years ago. However, some who know this sister say that she is not this way, that she is actually a Paka Brahmin. How do I shift this vision I have of this family? Right? So two versions. One is, how do I shift the way someone sees me? And then how do I shift the way I see someone else?
Well, there is a saying that justice should not only be done, but should appear also to have been done. Similarly, if I am changed person from 30 years back, so I should also appear to be a changed person. That my personality, my behavior, my conduct, my physical appearance, my dress code, my dealings with others should change. Because if it changes, you cannot, they say, respect cannot be demanded, has to be commanded. So I have to be in that situation. So naturally, not anyone, your husband or anybody, all people, everybody here, somebody was very angry. Now he has become calm. Even the driver says that our boss has become so calm, isn't it? So I should look into myself that I have changed. If I have changed, have I changed only in thoughts, only in theoretical gyan, or have I brought it into my practice? There is no reason when a person changes, the others will naturally acknowledge. Not everyone will acknowledge. One yourself also you will acknowledge that I have, I was this and I have become this. So the soul has to work on themselves. The second question is, we have our own human judgment. We feel certain things about a certain family, all the members of the family, and we still have that opinion. But others are saying to me that no, it is this or that. We need not bother for judgments, my own judgment or other people's judgment, because human judgment power is imperfect. The basic law is, Baba says, whosoever, whatever one may be the same for 50 years even, doesn't matter. There are certain metals which melt at a very high temperature, others melt easily. Has to be my attitude is only to see good in others, have good thoughts for others, good wishes for everyone that they should become better. So should be my approach, and how I can help them to be better. At least I should have good thoughts for everyone. That is the solution.
Okay. All right, I think that's pretty clear. Okay, I have questions about culture, differences in culture. In different places in the Brahmin world, things are sometimes done differently. According to culture, background, and resources, as opposed to the disciplines we have been taught by Baba. For example, while in Parat, many BKs wouldn't drink tea at a cafe, that is not the same for Western BKs. So my question is, what to do when someone wants to do something that is not accurate according to our Mariadas, but a senior from another place has given permission. Should we say something so the soul is aware, or just say nothing since they received permission?
Well, Baba's Gyan is very flexible. Baba says some children adopted 100%, others 80%, some 30%, some even 5%. And you get the benefit accordingly. Now, this taking tea, coffee, etc. at the cafe, I have my own example. Myself and Ramesh Bhai were both chartered accountants. Ramesh Bhai was doing his personal practice as a chartered accountant. I was in a government job as a chartered accountant. Now, during the government job, there used to be committee meetings and they used to offer tea. And I won't take tea as a very strong Brahma Kumar. So I had a feeling that the other members of the committee were feeling that why this person is considering us untouchables or what. So what is he thinking of himself? So to clear, just as now we are clearing, I wrote to Baba, Brahma Baba was in body, Baba, this is the situation. So Baba gave me permission in writing that since you are in a job, at the meetings, you can have tea. By chance, Ramesh Bhai was sitting by Baba's side when Baba was writing to me. So Ramesh Bhai said, Baba, I can also take tea because he is a chartered accountant. He is also being permitted. Baba said, no, you have your own business and nobody is compelling you to take. So you cannot take tea, but he can take tea. So this was the situation. Now, similarly, permission is given in, even I may also tell you, even after Baba had given me written permission, I still never took tea in those meetings because I thought that whatever damage had to happen has happened. They all have started thinking me a different person. Why should I now compromise and say, up to now I was not taking, but I am taking? They will ask me what I detail, who is your Baba and all that. Now this is one thing. I also remember I used to travel a lot and carry my tea in my thermos. I will have hot water in thermos. It can remain for 18 hours or so. And I used to have powdered milk or milk in the water and tea bags. So I used to make my fresh tea because even if you get tea from a machine, you do not know when it was made. And I remember from Ahmedabad city, I had to travel to Delhi in a air-conditioned compartment, and we had two berths. So on second berth was a couple who were highly educated and rich couple. So at the railway station, they ordered tea from outside, and they both started feeling bad that is it tea or what is this? It is a wash of something. So after that, I made my tea and I told them, I will give you tea. And they were so happy. They said, oh, hereafter we will also carry our tea in our thermos. So what I mean to say is, it depends. Even if you deviate or whatever way you get permission, if you keep your principles, you get plenty of strength. And therefore, even Bharat also, there may be some BKs who are compromising. They will follow the foreigner. They will say, oh, I went to USA. They took me to a cafe at the petrol pump. When they can take, I can also take. So as Baba says, people follow others' example. But it is not so. A good principle is extremely helpful. And I remember when I had joined my job, I didn't know what is a worker strike. So after some years, a worker strike took place. It was a big government corporation. They decided to, it was automatic machines. They decided to run the factory with officers, and all officers were called and were to be sent in a police van inside. And I thought, I am a BK, everything is okay, but I have to take their food. So I decided to resign when my turn comes. So our chief of the corporation, when my turn came, he put his hand on my head. He said, let us keep one accounts person outside because we have to get some money from banks. So for 18 days that strike took place, I was the only person who was kept outside. So that is also there. Willpower is there. And for good thoughts, Baba will fulfill your thoughts in any way.
See, you are such a good Kumar. I see why Baba thought you were so pure. You're so good. Okay. One more question on this topic of culture, and then we're going to move to a different topic. We know that food is something very important while serving people, but is there real benefit for Lokik Western people? For instance, if we give them Thursday Pog, as some places do, would Lokik people who don't know much about the BKs and are mostly from a Western culture receive real benefit from this?
Well, first question is that why and under what conditions we are giving bhog or something to Lokiks. It means there has to be some relation, there has to be some connection with them. That is why we are giving them food, that bhog. So while giving bhog, we should briefly explain to them the significance of bhog, that it is offered to God and it has got power, godly power, and maybe I don't know what happens in churches, but it is sanctified food, it will purify your mind. We give with that understanding, not straight away. Secondly, you know, a medicine is a medicine. So Baba says, bhog is a special food even for the Brahmins. We are having our normal food also in Baba's remembrance, but bhog has special significance. It has been specially offered to Baba, and it has got God's power of sanctity of food and purity of food. So whether a person knows it or doesn't know it, just says something is good, and you even put by force into the other person, it will do good. So in that sense also, it will do definitely good, but it is better to tell the significance so that they don't consider it as pebbles, they consider it as gems.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, this next category is called unauthorized political activity. We've discussed politics before too. We just have one question. So there's a lot of political unrest in a certain country. And every week there is a gathering in the town square to support and bring comfort to those most suffering this political unrest. Sometimes the gatherings are very large, and often they include people from various political parties carrying their posters and using the gathering to make their political point. I think here, Brother Brij Mohan, some of it is political, some of it is general support for those who are suffering, right? Both things are happening. The regional coordinator has made it clear that BKs are not to be involved in such gatherings, even if their intention is simply to talk about peace, conduct meditation, etc. The guidelines from the RC are to do the service, the more effective service of Mansa Seva from the safety of one's home. Nevertheless, a few BKs attend and serve these gatherings. Some of them heard the guidelines delivered by the RC, but disagree with them and have their own interpretation of these weekly events and how to serve them. So they're doing this without the blessings of either the RC or the NC or with any coordination with the departments. So they're kind of independent actors from their own, whatever their intention is. So the question is, what guidance do you have for the NC and other BKs in this country?
Well, there is a saying that there is a time for everything. It is very important that we do the right thing, but at the right time. Someone is a very good singer, but if starts singing at midnight, then the time is not appropriate. Similarly, we have got all the good intentions. We want to do Mansa Seva. We want peace for such like suffering souls. Everything okay. Even if you want to give some physical help like medicines or clothes, etc., okay. But in such a gathering, where there is outside people who mostly they only talk and they discuss and they take sides, but they don't do real service. Our precious little intention and effort should be separated, and we should not from our homes but from our centers, and we can collect at our centers and do whatever we want in our own way. Otherwise it will be mixed something, a rubbish bottle basket, and we are putting gems in that. So we should avoid that.
Okay.
Many times in India also, many centers ask us, because there is a local pressure that these parties or whatever locally are connected with us. We tell them, you say that we will refer it to our committee and headquarter committee, and they will decide. As they decide, we will do. We just try to postpone it in this way. So similarly, it is best thing to avoid this wasteful activity.
Okay, so you're basically, I think, saying that the independent actions are
Yeah.
really not appropriate. It needs to be they're a part of a movement or an organization, and so the decisions of the organization they should abide by that. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, supposing there is a procession of all type of people for peace, a lot of parties and others join, we should avoid that.
Okay. All right. Now, here's a question about our centers. So many students got used to listening to the Murli online during the COVID pandemic and continue to listen to Murli online even when they can come to the center. There are many centers sitting empty and some are being closed. With only few students, the amount of contribution is not enough to sustain the costs of the center. What is your recommendation in this case? Should the center be the main place to read and listen to Murli and online only be for those who cannot attend in person? Is it true that according to the Yagya, a center is a place where Murli is read every day and Bhog is offered every day? How do you see the role of the center nowadays and future? And I'm going to add a question. How would you even, how would you get people there if they've decided that they're only going to come online? So the question is, how do you see the role of the center nowadays and in the future?
Well, Baba says that it is not only listening to the Murli, but it is coming together of the Brahmin family, which is more important. Listening to the Murli is one important part of it. But coming together, because what is our final attainment is our role in the drama from golden age onwards. So there we have to be physically connected. Our sanskars have to be aligned and good and pure. So all those things cannot happen online. How you will have different sanskars coming together online, and then listening online, I have found that when we are sitting in a classroom, we are properly sitting and we are attentive to the Murli only. In online Murli, I have found one is taking tea, one is not even properly dressed, and one has so many diversions. Only it is listened from one ear, goes out of the other ear. It is not imbibed. So it requires serious focus and study. So that, and then you can answer, there is questions and answers also, just as we are doing now. Online, there can be no such questions and answers also. It is a folly to think that online we can get more and easily without spending any money, without contributing to the center, without mixing with our BKs. So that is very important. If that were so, Baba would have given the Murli online from Paramdham. And those who are doing it online, they will get their reward also online. Online, they will go in the golden age and everything, nothing real. So it has to be real. From real, if in the golden age it was real, then we got into adulteration, silver, copper, etc. And in this iron age, from real we became artificial. No adulteration, no mixture, nothing of good. And from artificial, now we have gone to the virtual. So this is a virtual thing, and this is not going to help us. We will not be able to, like angels, behave like angels, because we do not have that opportunity. So it is very, very important that if we want to be in the golden age at least, we not the BKs but Brahmins, we have to listen online. And the centers should create such atmosphere that a person should feel it is worth coming to the center. Sometimes, even at the center, a center resident lives in the next room, and when the Murli starts, come from the next room and sits in the class. Another person is 8 kilometers away as a student and starts from there 8 kilometers and comes. Whose yoga is more in time? So the one who starts from 8 kilometers, his yoga starts from there and it goes up to when he is back. And the one who is in the next room takes it easy and doesn't have that yoga. So similarly, Baba has laid this system of class. And in exceptional cases only, it is something is better than nothing. In those cases only, online Murli should be done. Otherwise, we are deceiving ourselves, thinking that we are saving time, we are saving money, we are saving ourselves from the inheritance also.
So you're meaning in-person Murli is what needs to be
Essential.
because of the company, partly. You're saying the vibrations of the gathering are part of this, yeah?
Vibrations, also mixing of sanskar, asking questions and answers, making our progress and all those things. When you see so many, you size yourself that what is my positioning in this class, and then you start thinking, this is only one center, what is my positioning in the whole of the country? And you further start thinking, what will be my positioning in the whole of the world when I go to Satyuga? So all those things will make you feel like a precious student of godly gems. And it is not an ordinary thing. And we are taking it easy. So, Baba says very, very intense effort is required. that will be lost.
Okay. And the centers themselves have a responsibility to make the atmosphere powerful, right?
Yeah, the center, maybe that 20% students are coming to the center, but those 20% should be such examples that others should feel when they meet that, oh, their stage is higher, they are reflecting light, they are being more loveful. We are not. Because anyone who visits any of the Srimat of Baba will feel a gap and feel left behind in something. And collectively, all those gaps will lead to repentance.
Okay. I'm picking up a few questions from the Q&A. We have many. We have 44. And just a reminder to people, I'm not picking up questions from the chat. So if you're putting questions in the chat, I'm not going to see them there and we won't be able to save them there. All right, so the first one, what if the person surrenders his tan, man, and dan to the yajna? Where will he turn for resources when he gets older? A BK instrument cannot determine the karmic accounts of a soul and deem what is necessary for a soul. That does not seem right. Do you understand that question? I'm not sure I do.
I have already answered this question, that everyone has to care for themselves, for their future, and save 1/4. Who has asked them to give all the dhan to the yajna? They to be discriminate.
All right. Second one, when someone has pain, you give pain medication to relieve the pain. In the same way, when a person is dying and is uncomfortable and they are dying, giving that pain medication that would make their suffering less, how is that different from giving pain medication? This question isn't worded right, but I think what they're asking is there a difference between giving pain medication when someone's close to death for their pain and giving them medication that would allow them to leave the body? Is there a difference?
It is not clear to me.
Yeah, it's pretty confusing. I think what they're saying is, so a person is in the process of dying, they're near death. If you just give them medication to reduce their pain, does that
Yes.
karmic implications? In other words, are they supposed to experience the pain as part of their settling of karma? Do you see what? I think that's the question. Remember, you answered the question about euthanasia or assisted suicide, saying, hey, you're settling your karmas. I think this question is, okay, what if I take pain medication so I'm in less pain? Does that mean I'm not settling my karmas as much?
Actually, in this world, whatever may be my stock of karmic account, anything I do to alleviate my suffering will also bring result. So Baba doesn't say that you don't take medication. I myself remember that once when Baba was in body, I decided I had some fever. I decided to only meditate to remove that fever. So next day, the fever became more intense. And I was shivering. I went to Baba. I said, Baba, you say by meditation, all those things go, but I am shivering. Baba says, you are a buddhu. Baba doesn't Baba take medicine? So you have to take medicine also because that is helpful. That act of yours will also go towards relieving you of your pain. So therefore, this meditation alone is not enough, and whatever are available remedies, we have to adopt all those.
Okay. So
And the Brahmins are not supposed to help individuals in getting relief when they are leaving the body. Baba says Brahmins have to be generally giving sakash to all souls and not to any individual soul unless there are special reasons for that.
Okay. So giving Sakash to all souls, not to particular souls, and take medication, take your medicine. It doesn't change your karmas. You're still settling your karmic accounts, right? Okay. We're facing very serious financial problems. Me with the Lokic family are almost out of financial resources. And even if we are old Brahmins and surrendered to Baba, I find myself so desperate and sad, even if Baba tells me daily to be happy and free from worries. Baba tells me to have faith, but we don't see a way out. We're an old couple with an old, aged, disabled son. What can we do?
Well, we have come to our present position because of our own choices and actions. And we cannot put the sort of the blame of our situation on Baba or Yajna. Baba only relieves us of such situations. And happiness has nothing to do with our physical situation, because happiness is a state of the mind. And Baba says, I am helping you to make your soul blissful, powerful, with lot of spiritual energies and powers. Use them so that whatever situation is yours is becomes light and does not affect you, your soul. So that is the way. Rather than thinking our shortcomings and weaknesses and what has happened, we should think of our powers. And spiritual power is such that it doesn't require any much from outside to be blissful, comfortable, and peaceful and happy. So we should use that spiritual power. All people will, all other powers, whatever they will still not be happy. And a person with spiritual power with nothing else can be happy. So that contrast one should experience and work for spiritual happiness. And that once you are happy, you don't require anything else. So all these situations, I should think they are of someone else, like an actor. So as an actor in this particular body, at this particular time, I am in the acting like an old couple with a disabled child. This is only acting as a role. It is all physical. And I as an actor, am separate. So if you think like that, you can be comfortable in any situation.
Oh, Brother Brij Mohan, okay, but I mean, so I'm watching the bank account go down, and I see that my son's not going to be able to take care of himself. And we've already reduced our lifestyle as much as we can. How can I not worry? I mean, yes, I can say, okay, I'm really a soul, and all of this is part of just the drama, but how do I really stay happy with that? I mean, I think a lot of BKs would, maybe different situations from this, but they would say, but it's worrisome, right? I have someone in the hospital, I have someone, I'm going to lose my house, whatever. I mean, saying
Tira
it's a
essa cadeira
state of
daqui, por
mind,
favor.
you just
Well,
state of mind.
well, sister, I should think of those who are worse placed than myself.
Okay.
I will be comfortable. Because after all, even if the others seem to be comfortable today, but such times are coming, testing and trying times, when Baba says, you will not even get a glass of water easily, you will not get even some grains to sustain your body, and at that time, you will have to be in your intense spiritual state, and you will be able to detach yourself from the situation. Such will be the situation. So when I have to look at those situations, I will feel I am quite comfortable today. And when you look at the deprived, more deprived than myself, more at risk of life and more at risk of losing everything. Such situations are already in existence today. I will feel myself fortunate.
Okay. Last question. It's on spiritual authority. In a Murli originally spoken on the 6th of August, 1971, Baba said, quote, here, and actually this is rephrased a little bit. It's not a direct quote because it's made shorter. Here, you have to stabilize yourselves in spiritual authority. If you are going to be able to inspire others to destroy their old sanskars. So if you're going to be able to inspire others to destroy their old sanskars, you have to be able to stabilize yourself in spiritual authority. You especially have the inculcation of this spiritual authority in the form of power. If you are lacking spiritual authority, although you are able to give sustenance, you are not able to help others destroy their old sanskars. So, Brother Brij Mohan, what is spiritual authority?
Well, spiritual authority is spiritual sovereignty, which means to say, whatever I am myself, only that I can pass on to others or help others to become. So if I am, to the extent I am self-sovereign, I have experience of overcoming several types of situations, which authority means experience here. You know, you have really lived and you have a lot of experience. Just as there is a medical doctor who is a new fresher and a medical doctor who is have 30 years of experience. So the fresher will have more modern knowledge of medicine, but that one has the authority, medical authority to cure others. Therefore, it does not mean any sort of authority in the sense of a physical authority or placement as a director or as a coordinator or in charge. No, it means spiritual sovereignty, that I am able to overcome all those obstacles and hurdles and weaknesses and situations. And with that authority, when I talk to others, they will also feel that this person has really is able to pass on that powers to me, and I will also be able to do that.
So the way I'll be able, if I have spiritual authority, I will be able to help them destroy their old sanskars.
Just as I am able to do that.
Because I've been able to do it, and therefore my good wishes, my drishti, my sakash, my encouragement, all of that will help them.
My advice, all those will help, yes.
All right. Brother Brij Mohan, thank you so much.
Thanks to all our brothers and sisters. I feel so happy that over the years, whatever I have learned from Baba, whatever I am imbibed, whatever I have experienced, I am able to share a bit with my Brahmin family to the best of my ability so that we can have a sort of go forward in our own ways. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank everyone who came today. We are keeping your questions from the Q&A. Those who went into the chat, I cannot keep your questions from the chat, sorry. We do not yet have a date for September, but we'll write to you about a date for September. So lots of love and good wishes to everyone. Thanks to the team who's managing behind the scenes.
Sure.